Yo, what's good YouTube? It's boardzy, and this is finally going to be my full review of the Ninjutso Sora V2, one of the most shocking mice released so far this year, and honestly one of the better small claw grip focused mice on the market, coming in at 40 grams, $100, full solid shell. But there are a few features that I don't think should be glossed over, and ways this mouse could even improve farther more. So yeah, that's what this review is going to be. But first thing is going to be shape. This is another one of those small mice that is just not a fingertip shape. I'm not going to spend the entire video complaining about that, but just in a similar way to the Maya and the HTX, it's just like it doesn't have flat sides, so that really just kills it for fingertip for me. Like, just flicking and stopping when I'm like flicking to the right, it's just tougher on this mouse than something like the OP1 8K, and I really don't like to be like, oh, this shape makes me play better, but I do notice the Sora V2, it just is awkward for me and how I fingertip grip. For claw grip, I do think that this is actually a seriously good shape, and compared to like the other small claw grip shapes, it's gonna have like a more prominent feeling, like aggressive, I guess, back hump than anything besides the X2H Mini. So compared to the Sora V1, the Maya, the Lamzu Atlantis Mini, mice like that, the Sora V2 is going to have a like farther back focused humps. So yeah, I think this shows it pretty well compared to the Maya. You can see where the hump sits, where the Maya is just like a more center hump focused mouse, and it is longer, so you will actually feel the lower back part of the mouse in a deeper part of your palm. But yeah, I would say the hump does have a very rounded feeling. It's not too like wide and bulby on the Sora. On the Sora V1, I just felt the hump was just like very wide, very low, and overall the mouse just felt awkward. It felt awkward for fingertip grip as well, in a very similar way to the new one. And yeah, compared to the Atlantis Mini, the Sora V2 just feels larger. The hump is once again more focused towards the back of the mouse, and I just have to curl my fingers super aggressively to get any type of grip on the Atlantis Mini. It's just a very small mouse, and the sides are curved in much more aggressively compared to the Sora V2. So I was getting asked to compare it to the Atlantis Mini a lot, and I feel like both shapes could work for you if you enjoy like smaller mice, have smaller hands and claw grip. And yeah, if you want a more rounded hump, like traditional low front, high back claw grip mouse, I think the Sora V2 makes a bit more sense. It is significantly lighter. Like, I do prefer the feeling moving this mouse around, not that it's a major difference, but yeah, shape-wise, weight-wise, pretty much everything, I prefer the Sora V2. But yeah, honestly, I'm not going to keep yapping about this shape, but compared to something like the VXE R1 Pro, which does have much more flat sides and just like a kind of similar feeling hump in the back of your hand. If anything, it's a bit more like round and higher on the Sora V2, but similar. Both very good mice for claw grip. I would say the VXE R1 is just a little bit larger feeling in hand. But yeah, with the flat sides, even the OP1 being a thinner mouse that I've had my small complaints about the shape for claw, I just like that style of shape more. So I'm not saying the Sora V2 is ass, but I don't think it's like an end-all be-all like GPX level of shape that's safe for everybody. But whether it be aggressive or relaxed claw, I actually can pull off and maintain a solid grip in game. The weight of this mouse is obviously one of the biggest selling points, coming in at 40 grams. With a full solid shell and not being just like a stupidly small mouse, it is a very impressive weight. There's no denying that. The balancing is solid as well. There's just no issues. The mouse does feel almost hollow. It's like, I remember trying mice in the past that didn't even have any internals that were like around this weight, going back to the dark ages of like 2021. So the weight wise, this mouse is fucking ridiculous. I have always said though, like for claw grip, I just don't feel like having a light mouse is as necessary, quote in quotes, or like as much of an improvement compared to fingertip grip. Like claw gripping in Fortnite, I just prefer using a GPX2 over almost every small mouse. So yeah, I just don't think lighter is 100% better for claw, but assuming you do want a lightweight mouse, this one is probably going to satisfy you. Like, there's nothing with the weight where I'm like, oh, that feels off. So yeah, the weight and shell design, I could really give them credit for. I'm not going to fucking squeeze the shit out of this mouse because it's not actually my copy. Once again, big thank you to ItMeStan on Twitter for lending it out. And I just don't want to break it, but I've squeezed this mouse plenty, and there's no issues with the polycarbonate shell. I say I'm not going to squeeze it, then I fucking squeeze it. But yeah, the build quality is very impressive. Like I said, weight is impressive, shape is solid, and yeah, truly there is no massive catch with this mouse. But now I'm going to get into a few of my more minor gripes. One of them is just this coating, and the black version, at least, generally white coatings across the board on mice are better, but you can see this one just picks up oils like crazy. And yeah, it does obviously look bad because I have like a ring light fucking showing it, but yeah, this is just going to be one of those coatings similar to to Zowie that is just going to pick up a lot of oil and fingerprints. The VXE R1 was doing pretty much the same thing, but it seems like it dries off quicker. But yeah, on the other side of the equation, you do get a very like almost sticky, like kind of wet, rubbery coating, like whenever you touch the mouse. So you are going to have like a very locked in feeling grip, but sometimes I do like just feel moisture on the shell of this mouse. So maybe that's due to the polycarbonate material, but I know it is coated, so I would just imagine it's like a fucking oil maxing coating, and it just looks nasty the more you focus on it. So I'm going to stop talking about it. But yeah, performance wise, it's definitely one of the top coatings, but when the mouse just looks so disgusting, I'm really just concerned because I have to clean it off before I fucking send it back. I don't want to look like some type of dirty mouse coating user. So yeah, I mean, I guess that is even technically just an aesthetic hit. It's not even anything about the actual mouse itself. But now my one complaint about just like the quality experience does come with the clicks. These are using Omron opticals, and just when I click towards the top, you can actually see, because I think my like finger imprint is here. Yeah, I click towards the top of the mouse, and it's just a very like mushy, dull, it's just like that bad optical switch feeling. There's a lot of pre-travel, as you can see towards the top of the button, and post-travel as well, though I don't think that's really an issue. There's also like side-to-side wobble and grinding, and it's just like I have watched this click quality experience like deteriorate the more I use the mouse. I'm not gonna lie, I am pretty hard on mice when I'm playing Fortnite. Maybe that's a bad habit, but I fucking slammed the shit out of my mouse one, and this one, it's just, I don't know, I've used enough mice to tell when a click just doesn't feel up to par in terms of quality. Like these opticals compared to the GPX opticals, it is a night and day difference in terms of like just stiffness and tactility. When I click farther down, like when I fingertip, the experience is a lot better. There's not really that like dull, mushy feeling until I get to the top of the click. So I know, well, if Ninjutso is Sprime, they have like that different click implementation on Sprime mice, which is a bit stiffer, like with a slower rebound, but much higher quality feeling. So I feel like down the line, in like a batch or two, they will address the click quality on this, and it will just be even better. I mean, mice tend to not get worse as production continues, but yeah, just a better coating. Maybe the white version already has that, and just better click quality feeling. And then this is genuinely a perfect mouse, presuming they eventually do release their higher polling rate implementation as well. The fact this mouse is locked to 1K polling, is it the end of the world? No. Is it just kind of weird? Yes. And yeah, I'm not going to say I had any massive issues with the wireless implementation, anything like that. I did notice on 1K with motion sync off that in Fortnite Aim Trainers, I was just able to notice like some type of just chopping, just a difference between this and the GPX2 sensor implementation, along with the OP1 8K, both of those mice either being on 2 or 4K hertz. Like it just wasn't, it's not a pristine, it's not the best sensor implementation on the market, but it's, I would say, more than passable, and you're not really going to be limited in game by it. But yeah, they do have a good web-based software. You can adjust LOD, motion sync, competitive mode. I mean, really, it's the exact same as the Sprime PM1 software. And the battery life is pretty poor, and this is another just minor nitpick. The mouse like only works with the charger they provide. Like if you just have a random USB-C cable, it is 99% sure not gonna fit into the mouse, and it's just like, that's a very minor grievance, I understand, but pretty much every other mouse I can just put in whatever cable, so whenever I need to charge this mouse, I had to dig the charger out of the bag. For people who only use like one mouse, you're gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? So yeah, I get it, that's just a me issue, but it was just minorly annoying, and the battery life did not seem that great, especially having to do that whole process to charge the mouse. I was able to notice like, hey, I'm not using this mouse that much, and I'm having to charge it like 3 times in like 2 weeks of on and off use at 1K hertz polling. Not the greatest battery life, but I don't really fucking care. But yeah, now moving on to just a few of the other aspects of the mouse. The side buttons are actually very good. Like there's no post-travel, no pre-travel, just no overall weirdness with them. They're in a good position as well for where I claw grip. Pretty light to activate, just really no concerns with them. And the clicks, they are light, and just performance-wise, they're fine. No issues with the click latency, but they just do have that cheap quality feeling, especially when you're clicking towards the top, like I mentioned. And then the scroll wheel, I don't know what to say about it. It feels pretty similar, if not identical, to a pulsar wheel. Activation is on the medium side. Scrolling it just feels blissful. And yeah, this mouse does come out of the box with no stock skates applied. I did try like the 4-quarter skate set, and it was pretty ass, so I threw on some Final Mouse core pads. And yeah, if I were to do this again, like when I get my own copy of this mouse, I'm probably just going to throw on 2 like aftermarket top style glides, maybe try to get just like a smoother feeling glide. I don't really know. I just wasn't in love with the final mouse skate experience on this mouse. But yeah, I did see some posts on Reddit of people like not knowing what the mouse skates were and just using the mouse like with bare fucking plastic, which I genuinely don't I can't fathom that, but you know, God bless Reddit. And aside from that, I don't really know what there is to talk about. Let's see, is there bottom flex? That's what really matters on the mouse. There's light bottom flex, so this is ass. Just kidding. I have to give this mouse the seal of approval. There's really no reason this mouse wouldn't get it, and very few mice are actually offering what this is at the price point. Actually, I think none are besides the Ninjutso Sora V2, so if you do want a small, extremely lightweight claw grip mouse, I would actually recommend this over most of the other options on the market. It's obviously choose which shape you think is going to be best for you, but compared to the X2H Mini, I think that it's just like a bit more well-rounded, like smoothed out, just like balanced of a design for claw grip. It's not as like aggressive, and then the X2H Mini just slopes down so fucking hard as well. It's just a super weird bulby shape. The Maya, I don't know. I kind of forced myself to like half like it. The Maya not really being back hump focused, I guess that's something that really bothered me. Like when I compare it to other mice, I'm like, yeah, this is how a shape should feel for claw grip. The Atlantis Mini is just much too small. I'm sure a lot of people are going to ask like why I didn't really focus on ULX and WO mouse comparisons, and I genuinely just like blanked because I don't think that these are like mice with the same target audience. Like I see the ULX as like a fingertip shape pretty much. You can pull off a claw grip on it, but it's not. It's kind of like a Viper V2 Pro, just like an FK clone for claw grip. It just doesn't make too much sense. And yeah, the Sora V2 is just for somebody who really wants a back hump claw grip focused small mouse. So I just feel like it's like just a unique offering compared to the ULX, and then the WO mouse is just a ULX clone. So the Sora V2, I really would not recommend it for fingertip. I would say maybe it's better than the HTX, but I mean, I can't use the HTX for fucking fingertip or claw grip, but it's just very similar where it's just like, doesn't feel like there's a lot of space on the sides. And yeah, compared to the OP1 8K, I think that this is just a better high performance buy, but if you do want a super light and obviously wireless mouse, then the Sora V2, I mean, you can consider it under many circumstances. But that's going to be all for this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Let me know any other questions if you have them in the comments below. And that's going to be peace all. That's going to be all. Got to return this mouse, get my own copy, and peace out.